Click. Hello everyone, MarkyJoe1990 here, and welcome to Dream of 5. There's a reason why I haven't shown the, prologue, before chapter map narration thing. And that's because it's glitchy and keeps crashing. So, there you have it. Anyway, welcome to Dream of 5. This chapter, I don't like it. And it's not because it's difficult. I know I hyped it up as being difficult in the previous part, but that's not the case. A lot of people, including AstraLunaSol himself, said, oh, you're gonna have a really hard time with Chapter 3. I believe Seth1212 told me, oh, that's impossible. There's no way you're gonna be able to do it. But don't quote me on that, but yeah, this chapter's not hard. It's really boring, and it fails, even on the most fundamental level of level design. I'll get into that in a little bit, but let me just summarize the plot here. We found the Dark Rites hideout, and now we're gonna basically clean them out and torch the place. And more than just that goes on in this chapter, by the way. In terms of story, this one actually does something that's more interesting than just, oh, let's weed out the bandits. But we'll get to that in a little bit. In any case, Colbane has his little, speech here. He's like, oh yeah, I may be naive, but I'm fighting for what I believe in and I don't give a shit. Which, is nice. I also really hate how, everybody just labels him off as just a friggin' idealist or some shit. Just let the guy fucking, have his beliefs. I know they're not trying to shove that in his face or anything, but I just hate how everybody kind of dismisses him. What's wrong with being an idealist? It's a bad thing if you're, stupidly naive and idealistic, but he really doesn't seem that way. So, it just kind of, I just don't like how they, perceive Colbane. But anyway, these two villains here are actually, well, the one on the left is kind of crazy, but the guy on the right is just like, oh, I'm not crazy. I actually really like both of their portraits. They're very, just exotic in general, I guess. And this to our left is Crow, who I believe was mentioned, wait, when was he mentioned? I'm pretty sure that somebody mentions him at some point, and it's like, oh yeah, Crow is pretty discontent. And oh wait, no, it was Chester who mentions him, but I think we haven't gotten to that part yet. But yeah, you get a hint that he's recruitable. As if it weren't blatantly obvious enough here, where he just flat out says, oh, I want to join the enemy side. I gotta say, I do like Crow quite a bit. He seems like a pretty well-mannered guy, even if he's just a ruffian mercenary. But anyway, here's the chap. Oh wait, we got this little thing here. Just out of nowhere, he's like, yeah, by the way, the level designer forgot to provide you a door key beforehand, so I'm just gonna toss you one right here. I do like that melodramatic line there. You may save time and possibly a life. But anyway, so I was warned that this chapter was going to be very difficult, and I can see where they were coming from. I was using less units than usual, and this chapter is quite a clusterfuck of enemies later on. However, there's one problem. You have absolutely no incentive to do anything. I'm serious. There's treasure chests here and there, and there's a recruitable unit, but there's no, rush to get them. You can just take your time and do whatever the fuck you want. And so long as you don't, not recruit Crow with Renair, or so long as you're not stupid enough to try and kill him, and so long as you, eventually get to those chests, eventually, and don't lose the items required to get to them, you're pretty much set for this whole chapter. You can literally just turtle at the very beginning. You could literally just place your units on the stairs in the entrance, and you're pretty much fine. There's nothing stopping you. There's not even thieves going after the chest. And if you looked at the bottom right, there is a stairway, right next to that treasure chest. But nothing comes out of there. There's just nothing stopping you, or giving you a reason to, hustle or do anything. And that's why this level fails on a fundamental level, because there's pretty much nothing that's just making you do anything. Just do whatever the hell you want and you're fine. And the video's just syncing, that's not good. That's probably because of my playback, though. In any case, it's just... This is the 4th chapter of the game. Now, I believe in FB7 on Ellwood and Hector mode, the 4th chapter to those, you are given an incentive. So, like, if your reason for not giving us an incentive to immediately go after those prizes is, you know, it's the beginning of the game, then that's kind of a weak excuse, because Ellwood and Hector mode sure didn't do that. They were man enough to make us want to get the villages. And if you don't remember, Chapter 14 is the chapter with Eric. And you recruit Crescia and Urk on it. Urk is, like, immediately in danger. Crescia is in danger of getting her village destroyed by pirates. And I believe another bandit wants to go after the village that Urk came from. So that's, like, 3 different things you gotta be careful for. That's a lot you gotta do. And, like, it just appalls me that its parallel for Dream of 5 is a chapter where you basically aren't expected... Nothing is expected of you. So anyway, thank God the video resynced up. That's really all I can say about this chapter. I mean, there is a nice twist at the end story-wise. And here's our little first boss here. This guy's really easy. Like, Amelia can kill him in 2 hits. But you do need, like, sufficient potions in order to survive all this crap. That's really what this whole chapter boils down to. You gotta make sure you have sufficient potions, because you are going to get hit. There's a lot of advantageous spots for archers to shoot you from, which I felt was a good idea. It's just that it doesn't add up to anything. And here's Crow. I find Crow's recruitment dialogue kind of brief. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but I don't know. I guess I just kind of wanted to learn a little more about Crow, and I feel like right now it's well, you know what? To be fair, he does get a pretty interesting dialogue after the chapter, but you know, whatever. I don't actually use him in this chapter, don't worry. I do trade off his potion, though, but I don't consider that using him. And in one of my previous attempts at this chapter, if you kill that first boss, this guy actually has a dialogue with you, but for some reason I couldn't get it to activate again, like, afterwards, and it's a little upsetting, because I thought it was a interesting dialogue, because it makes the guy really pissed off. And honestly, when that conversation went off, I could have sworn I honestly thought that he would get off his throne and chase after us, which would have been a pretty cool idea, but alas, that is not the case. I think that's a bit too difficult to do in terms of AI anyway, so, oh well. Anyway, if you pay attention to the dialogue, they've been foreshadowing the living shit out of this Farrell guy. Oh, and here's where I show all the chests, because the rest of the chapter is completely uneventful. So yeah, we get 2 legendary weapons that we can't use. They're S-ranked and they have a might of 1. So I can only assume they get, like, powered up later on by an event. And then I just beat the chapter. And here's our dialogue. There's a lot of lesson telling in these dialogues. Like, a fish does not cost a lot, but your heart does. Oh, here's Crow's dialogue. I like Crow. He's clearly got his priorities in mind. I don't know, he just makes me smile. So I'm just gonna let you appreciate this dialogue. He's just, yeah, I want all this crap. And then tactician guy just dismisses him because he's kind of just a hard ass, really. Not that I blame him. I mean, this is war we're talking about. And then these people showed up, and Colvin's like, I got these from the prison, which, you know. And there's the white-haired chick. Yes, yes, yes. For those of you who don't know, she shows up in the first village of the prologue chapter in the other version of Dream of 5 that I played. in my previous playthrough of this game. And I predicted, oh, she's gonna join our side, isn't she? And I was right. And not only that, but her portrait got updated, and now she looks better than ever. I don't really feel much for this fortune teller chick, though. I don't know, I guess I've never been a fan of lipstick, I guess. And plus her hairdo is kind of meh. I mean, it must have been really hard to portrait that, but... And I got handed to Astra. He's got some freaking good portrait work in this game. I just think she's alright. I mean, nothing wrong with her portrait. I just don't really like her design, her structure, I guess. But yeah, she can predict the future rather unreliably, but she can predict it nonetheless. And Renee's just like, oh, okay. Well, I have no qualms putting an unpredictable fortune teller in my trusts. There you go. The white-haired chick. I wish I could remember her name, but man, her design is so good. Like, I really like the way she looks. Uh-oh! What the hell? What's this? Somebody's using quintessence? Except, no, they're not. Something bad is coming up. And I'm just gonna let you all I'm gonna be quiet here so that you can marvel in this glory. Custom effing CGs. This is amazing looking. Like, seriously, this is a great way to introduce, like, one of your major villains. This gets a thumbs up from me. And then Gareth's like, dude, Renee, get the fuck out of the way. I need to defend you. And then they do some shit talking. I will complain that her, like, mask thingy, like, I don't really show its motion, but it does look a little weird, like it's on way too tight, but whatever. In any case, she came to deliver a message. I'm not sure what that message is. But, oh well. And here's our epic battle, which isn't so epic, really. Oh, well, Gareth said, well, I didn't use them much anyway. Except not, for some reason. Like, really? She just wiped out all of his health and he disappeared on the map. I think that's a pretty clear indication that he died, but because she said, the fool lives, Fretchen still lives. I think it would have been more effective if she didn't kill him gameplay-wise. Well, she doesn't actually kill him gameplay-wise, you can still use him, but, like, depleting all of his health, that's a bit much. I think maybe if you, like, gave her a weaker weapon so that she only takes him down to, like, 1 or 2 health, maybe that would be, you know, less misleading, but overall, I still think this is a very effective scene. And, you know, Renee faces her first loss, apparently. Like, how long has this person been in business? I guess she hasn't been in it for long since she's not as experienced as Fretchen over there, but there you go. She has her little Elliewood moment where she's like, I couldn't do anything! It was out of my power! I feel so helpless. Which, you know, I have no problems with. Like, honestly, I will be fair, she does have a bit more personality than Elliewood does. Which is a good thing for me. I always felt that... Oh, wait, this is where Chester reveals... Oh, dude, you gotta stop whining about shit. It took me a while to get over my shit. But then eventually, I picked up my knife, and I started stabbing people once more. Just like the good old days. And, you know, I also think this is a good scene. So far, like... This is where the story really interests me, and I'm very glad that Astra did this, because the first few chapters really aren't very intriguing. I forgot what I was going to say. Also, this is a little confusing, like, apparently Colbane was given control, of the group, and I'm like, wait, why wasn't Ferechin given control? He's the more powerful and... Oh, wait, that's right, he's beating the shit up. But yeah. Like, that part's a little confusing, because it, like, implies that some time went by between those scenes, but it doesn't really feel like there was a transition. But, in any case, like, crappy chapter gameplay-wise, but, man, that ending was pretty good. So, gotta hand it to you. Well, and also take it away from you, because the chapter was shit. But, anyway, there you go.